One of the key traits that narcissists look out for when it comes to choosing a potential target for a romantic relationship is someone who seems to be in need of validation. Obviously, narcissists, and when it comes to them looking for potential targets to have in romantic relationships, they look for people who have certain traits that they lack in, such as empathy, likability, just people that have a healthy sense of self and have this caring and nurturing kind of personality. But also, in addition to all those qualities, narcissists can only really successfully target people who seem to be in a certain need of validation from others. And what the narcissist in particular looks for are people who they feel have been in pursuit of validation for some time, and they can tell that the person hasn't really been getting enough of it. And what that does is, when the narcissist sees a potential target who has a lot of the qualities that the narcissist looks for in targets, which just happens to be qualities that the narcissist lacks in themselves, but they also look for people who have certain other aspects, such as perhaps people pleasing tendencies, in particular people who seek external validation, because those are the hooks which the narcissist will use to hook the people in. And the way that kind of works in practice is in the early stages of getting to know somebody, in the early stages of what may soon envelop into a romantic relationship, the narcissist will drop large doses of validation here and there just to see how the target reacts to it. And if the target eats up the validation in such a way where it's evident that the target had previously been starved of validation. Because if you think about it, if you give somebody, some food, they'll eat it fine. If you give somebody some food who's been starving, they'll eat it up in a different way where you can tell that that person's been lacking food for a long time. And what the narcissist wants are targets who seem to have been starved of validation for a long time. And they'll just eat up the narcissist's validation and the narcissist's compliments and the narcissist just kind of the giving that the narcissist gives in the early stage of the relationship, which they later withhold. That kind of giving, that validation, all those compliments, all the good stuff that the narcissist gives, if the target just eats it up like they've been starving of it, then that's an easy hook for the narcissist to hook into the target. Because once the narcissist has given regular doses of validation, the good stuff, for some time, maybe over the course of days, weeks, even months, then they've soon trained the target to not know how to live without that validation. So as the narcissist tests the target's need for validation, they'll on the one hand, they'll see how much the target eats it up to see if there's evidence that the target's been starved of validation for some time. And then the narcissist, knowing that the target's expecting a validation, there'll be certain moments in time where the narcissist knows that the target would be expecting validation from the narcissist, and then they'll withhold it. And then the narcissist would just observe the kind of starved, crumbling impact that has on the target, which is that the target was expecting something positive from the narcissist, and the narcissist doesn't give it. If the narcissist sees that withholding has a significant impact on the target's kind of visible well-being, their mood, and all that, then the narcissist can quickly tell that, yes, this is an area where they can gain deep leverage over the person, and perhaps they've already got the leverage. And those are the kind of prime traits and aspects of targets that narcissists look out for. So narcissists do test people in the early stages to see where they can throw their hooks in deep. And the validation piece is quite key, actually. And it's one of the most important things for the narcissist, is to be able to use the validation and the withholding of the validation to completely control the target. And that's what they do. So when it comes to you and just having a healthy kind of sense of grounding in yourself, it just shows that if you feel that you are the kind of person who seeks external validation quite heavily for your own well-being, for your own stability, then that's definitely an area for you to work on and to try to be less dependent on validation from other people, because that that kind of aspect of yourself can be seen as an entry point for certain types of people to obtain control over you. And don't worry about trying to change anything about yourself overnight. If you can recognize something on you, then you can kind of set yourself on a path to patching that up and improving that over time. And a lot of times it just comes down to things like finding healthier hobbies, feeling, doing things that help you feel more comfortable in your skin, just, changing perspectives about things. Sometimes people take life too seriously and think that pleasing other people is just the most important thing. Maybe you can kind of seek out ways of changing those perspectives. And it's not necessarily a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing, but that's perfectly fine. The important thing is you realize certain things about yourself, and you can kind of set yourself down the path of evolving into a newer and more satisfying version of yourself. So yeah, specifically in relation to the validation piece, it's worth observing those things within yourselves, and also noting that people who seek external validation a lot can become targeted by toxic people like narcissists.